welcome back to another Ozzstar's Today's Fun Project. Today we've got a 4th generation Maxima here. Check engine light's on, or I should say the service engine soon light is on. So it's always exciting when that little yellow money light pops on. I'll hook the scan tool up, take you guys with me. We'll check it out and see what's going on. We've got 115,000 miles on the odometer. There's our little service engine light soon. And I got the scan tool hooked up. Save some time, got it plugged in. I'm going to go to read codes. I did a review on this Autel AL539. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you're interested in it. It is a pretty good scan tool, especially for the money. I have liked it so far. Let's see, stored codes, and any second here, press any key to select vehicle market. Okay, so we got to go to Nissan. Bear with me. There we go, Nissan. Alright, so there's our codes. We've got a P0440 evaporative emission system, so we got a problem with the EVAP system somewhere. And code 2, you see it says 2 out of 2 right there. 1448, which is the vent control valve. That's the famous Nissan trouble code. So anyhow, that's the vent valve is back there by the canister, and that's on the driver's side rear behind the tire there, the wheel. So our scan tool does have the EVAP leak test here. So what we'll do is we'll send a command to the valve, and we'll listen to hear if we hear any clicking. Obviously it's plugged in, we won't see any movement yet. But what we'll do is definitely I'll set the camera up, I'll jack the car up, get you guys set up there, listen for the click, and we'll go from there. If it clicks, that means our circuitry, or it should mean our circuitry is good and it is getting the signal, and we'll have to take it out and monitor it from there. But let's get under the car. Driver's side rear caliper, brake caliper back here, and then if I aim up for you, there's our connector. So it's a 2-wire. Got 12 volt, should be, I believe it is 12 volt. And here's our vent valve. So it's held in with these two tiny little 8mm bolts. In the past, I've had these suckers snap. So if you go to remove them, be ready to, drill and extract if it snaps off, because that never makes for a good day. But just giving you a heads up. So what we'll do is I'm going to set you up now. We'll listen for the click. If it does click, we have that code. There's definitely an issue here, and there is a pressure sensor. Where is it? I think it's this guy right here. So something's not right with it, and we'll set this up now and get to it. Okay, so I'm in the car now. I have the scan tool in my hand, and I'm about to hit that EVAP leak test function. So let's see, or let's listen if it clicks or not. I'm going to go right now. Okay, I heard the click. All right, let's get the vent valve out now. There is a connector up here, but I'll wait to disconnect that until we get these out. There is a hose. Here's your vent hose. You want to make sure that's not obstructed. I'm going to use these SunX hose pliers right here. I'll leave a link in the description down below. These come in really handy. They're in different sizes, and what they do is they get right around that hose and helps you twist it and pull it off. Flat Rate Master on YouTube here suggested these for me, and they've worked out great, so I want to thank Mike for that suggestion. Anyway, let me get on here and twist and pull this a little bit. This is an original, it's a 20-year-old vehicle, so things can be a little stiff. There we go. That helped a lot. We'll get that out of the way, and let's pull these 2 bolts out now, and I'll keep filming because I'm pretty certain they'll probably snap, and that always makes for fun video. Anyway, let's get on this. I'm going to put, you probably can't see, I might be in your way, but just slowly budging this. Boy, that sucker is tight. They must over tighten these at the factory, or water gets in there and it's corroded. And I feel it spinning a little bit, but I'm just going to, a little trick is just keep working it left to right, because you really can't get any penetrating oil in there. And maybe free up those valves, because if we can get this sucker, both of these out without snapping anything, oh boy, that would give us a lot more time to do other stuff. So I'm just going back and forth, and we'll see what happens. Let's go to this one a little bit. We'll try this one now. Played with that a little bit. Oh boy, this one's really stiff. Oh shoot, I think that one snapped, or it either snapped or it came loose. Let's see. We're gonna find out. I think it's okay. This one is anyway. Nice. All right, well, at least we got one out. Let's see what happens with this guy. This one's just spinning. I don't think this one's gonna be too good here. Yeah, I'm telling you, I told you. I warned you guys this was a pain in the ass. Let me get something to put pressure behind there. Damn it. Oh, man. So let me give you a real life update, see what I found here. So as you saw, this bolt came out and this one was just spinning. So the nut inside the canister is actually stripped. And my option was to either drill this out or cut it off, grind it out, and then deal with it after the fact. But instead of doing that, I decided to sort of just test it right here in place. So what I did was hooked up a 12-volt power source. Just got, you know, the 2-pin. So I got some alligator jumper wires. And I've got my 12-volt source right there. And what I was doing is, and I'm going to show you that in a second because I had to get my helper out here to film it. While I was looking inside the vent itself, and I got a mirror, observation mirror to do that. So what I found was the plunger, you know, when there's no power applied, the plunger is actually down in here, does not allow fumes or vapors to flow out. And when you apply 12 volts, this plunger goes up and allows the vapors to flow out, and that comes around and down and eventually winds up out of this back here, out of this hose here. So anyway, let me just show you here with the 12 volts so you see what's going on. My helper was helping me. I just was touching this on and off right there. You can hear it now. So I didn't have to keep getting out from under the car and, you know, hitting it with the scan tool. But anyway, what I did was, now it might sound even a little more, I guess, loud, you could call it, because I sprayed silicone inside there. So I also hit it with some WD-42, some silicone spray. I was afraid the WD might swell up any rubber seals in there. That wouldn't be good. So anyway, let me show you exactly what's going on now. So that was making, the solenoid was clicking, but the plunger, which I did not get on film, was not moving. As it was maybe moving just a tad, not like it should. And I did see rust in there on that rod. So what you'll see now in the video is me applying, or my helper applying the 12 volts, and the plunger is actually moving up and down. Really smooth now, much smoother and easier. So what I'll do is I'll put this all back together. I'll show you that clip. I will reset the codes and we'll begin to test drive it, and I'll let you know how this turns out. Give it the juice. All right, hopefully you can see that moving. Go ahead. Go ahead, do it a few times. All right, so we see the plungers moving now. No, boy, there's nothing like a 10mm bolt just to change the whole direction of your day. Anyway, so here's why I decided to do what I did. Now, if this was someone else's car, I would have definitely suggested a replacement. But what I did do was get that valve freed up, as you saw in the video. And it's when I reset the service engine light just a minute ago off camera, I did the test, the EVAP, not the EVAP, but the vent valve test real quick, and the click that you heard earlier when I did that test was much louder, much more pronounced, and you see it's moving freely now. So I think it was jammed up. Anyway, hopefully this will solve my problem. For now, I consider it a temporary problem. That's mounted the canister. The nut behind that bolt must be stripped or spinning in there. And if I have to get into replacing the canister, of course it's more money, but there are 3 bolts that hold that up. They're easy to get to. The problem here is 2 out of those 3, the rust is just completely rounding them off. They're toast. You could touch them and they're crumbling. So I didn't feel like getting into all that today. I will drive the car for a couple of weeks, and at the end of this video I will guarantee that I put my results, whether the light comes back on or not. I definitely know what the issue is now, so that's good. Hopefully it helps you out. If you have one of these mid-90s, late 90s, early 2000s Nissan, could be the Altima or pickup, Maxima, what have you. You probably experienced this problem if the valve has not been changed out before and you've got about 120,000 miles on the car. So what I would have done is, if I could have gotten the vent off the canister, because, you know, we had that stuck bolt, I would have definitely applied a hand pump vacuum to the vent itself, and I would have tested to see with 12 volts, you know, I have an accessory 12 volts to it, to see if it would have held vacuum, and of course if it released. So in this case, I believe it was stuck in the closed position, and that's what our issue was. So by applying the what was it, the silicone I sprayed in there and some compressed air, we freed it up. It seems to be working fine. I have some footage now that I'm going to shoot inside the car. The check engine or service engine light has been off. It's cycled probably, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 times. That's, you know, on and off, and it seems to be working well. So it's been about 2 weeks and about 200 miles, and I've got the ignition on right now. I've got the scan tool hooked up, and I want to give you guys an update because the check engine or service engine light has not come back on. So I've got the Autel here. What is this? The AL539. And I want to just show you, I'm going to read the codes. There shouldn't be any, because we've got this automatic green check, meaning all the monitors have been run. So the emission monitors, I think before we had the yellow exclamation triangle here, meaning that the codes were, you know, after the repair, the codes, or not the codes, but the monitors had not been run. It wasn't ready for testing. And of course the red here would mean you have a code. So let's just hit the OK, and we'll go to read codes. So no code stored, that's good. And then let's just go down here to pending. We got to do this one-handed here. Do this pending codes. So no pending codes. So we're good to go there. That's good. Everything's working good. Lubricating, I guess you call it the pintle in that vent valve. It's all I could think of. It's like a little piston. You saw it. Seemed to be working good. Check out Wells Vehicle Electronics. Mike Becker over there. He knows his stuff on all this EVAP information. He's the master at it. Thanks for coming along. Ozzstar1 on Instagram. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Smash the bell button. Is that what it's called? The bell button? That way you'll know when I release a new video. And other than that, I appreciate you coming along, and I'll see you guys on the next one. So take it easy.